Well, if you would open your Bibles, Joshua chapter 1, verses 1 through 3 and verse 5 down through 9. Notice, hear the word of the Lord. After the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, it came to pass that the Lord spoke to Joshua, the son of Nun, Moses' assistant, saying, Moses, my servant, is dead. Now therefore arise and go over this Jordan, you and all this people, to the land which I am giving to them, the children of Israel. And every place that the sole of your foot will tread upon, I have given you, as I said to Moses. Verse 5, no man shall be able to stand before you all the days of your life. As I was with Moses, so I will be with you. I will not leave you nor forsake you. Be strong and of good courage. For to this people you shall divide an inheritance, the land which I swore to their fathers to give them. Only be strong and very courageous. For to this people, that you may observe to do according to all the law which Moses my servant commanded you. Do not turn from it to the right hand or to the left, that you may prosper wherever you go. This book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate in it day and night, that you may observe to do according to all that is written in it. For then you will make your way prosperous, and then you will have good success. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and of good courage. Do not be afraid, nor be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. And today this is part 3 of the series Journey to Victory. Journey to Victory. Because victory is not just an event. Victory is a process. And the first stage that we pointed out in this is the voice of God. You have to, at the beginning of wherever you are, you have to ask the question, is there a word from the Lord? To get God's voice speaking into the situation. The voice of God. The voice of God ultimately produces a vision of God. Voice, vision. It's a process. You hear something, then you see something. The voice produces the vision, because words create images. Words create images. You hear something, a person can begin to describe something for you that perhaps you've not exactly seen that combination, but the words create an image in your mind. Words create images. Words create images. The voice produces a vision. You hear it and then you see it. And the third component of it, voice, vision, and now valor. Valor. Valor is courage. And this is why God speaks to Moses and to Joshua, his successor, and says to him, Moses, my servant, is dead. But as I was with Moses, Joshua, I'm going to be with you, because you've got a new assignment that is on your life. And let me just say this to you, that you don't even need valor until the season of your life is shifting. Until your life is coming into a new juncture, a place where you have never been before, where you've got to walk in uncharted territory. And you've got to shift now and carry a new burden of leadership and responsibility that you've never had to deal with before. This is where Joshua is. Joshua has watched somebody else do it for a season, and now God is saying, it's time for you, baby boy, to grow up. It's time for you, baby girl, to grow up now. I'm shifting you into a new season of responsibility coming into your life, and you're going to need valor. Don't be afraid. I know that the journey is intimidating, because the future holds things for you for which you do not know right now. But just trust me that when you get there, whatever you deal with, I'm enough. I am enough. It is God's way of saying that as I led Moses, he didn't know what he was doing either. and I had to guide him and lead him and be the cloud by day and the pillar of fire by night for him. I'll be with you, Joshua. In the same way that I led your daddy, I'm going to lead you. The same way that I led your mentor, I'm going to lead you. And so you don't need courage until you're facing an unknown. You don't need valor until you've received a diagnosis, until you've gone through a life change, a major life change that has thrust you on a new track, until God has placed a vision in you, a dream in you, and now you're launching out to do something that you've never done before, and you've got to depend on God. You need courage. The only reason that some people don't step up to the plate and fulfill and live the dream that they have in their heart is because they lack courage. And that's why God is saying, I didn't bring you this way, Joshua, just to be a scaredy cat. I didn't bring you out of Egypt for you to just get in here and die in the wilderness. You've got an assignment to get over into a land of promise. And you're going to have to fight some battles, but I'm going to be with you. And he says, no man will be able to stand before you. Listen, when you submit yourself to doing the will of God, no devil in hell has the capacity to stop you. Listen. Weapons will be formed, but they won't prosper. It won't work. I mean, God says, I got you, I'm with you. You're going to be fought tooth and nail, but God says, I've got you. But he says, I can't deal with you with timidity. You're going to have to be a person of valor. Be strong and very courageous. He told him 3 or 4 times in chapter 1, be strong and very courageous. Be strong and very courageous. Be strong and very courageous. Some of you have stepped into a dimension of life. You're older now than you've ever been. You're dealing with some aches and pains. You don't get up as fast as you used to get up. Your mind is not as sharp as it used to. Your energy levels are not the same. But God says, listen, as I was with you in your younger days, I'm still with you now. You may not be able to do it as fast as you used to do it, but now you'll be able to get more done in less time because you've got a wisdom now. You've been through some stuff. When you've been through the fire, you learn how to cook. A lot of that other time, you had time and energy, but you were wasting a lot of it with foolishness. But this time, God says, you are stepping into a brand new dimension of life. I don't know who I'm talking to today, but I just feel in my spirit that somebody's season is shifting. My God, by the power of God. This is a time of shifting. He's been dealing with me with this all year long. You are shifting into avenues and directions and paths and careers and dimensions of your life that you have never been at all the days of your life. And you're scared out of your wits. It is intimidating. You don't know, can I make it? Do I have enough money? Am I going to have enough support? God, I don't know what I'm doing. I read some books. I've looked at some stuff online, but I don't know whether this stuff is going to work or not. But Jesus, I need you. I need you, Lord. Anybody know what I'm talking about here today? I'm just here to remind you today in this house that the same God that was with your daddy, your grandmama, and brought them through is so with you today. He's with you, and he says, I got you, baby. I got you. Lean on me. Just trust me, because I'll take you to places that you never dreamed of. I'm able to do exceedingly, abundantly, and above all that you can ask or think. I'm getting ready to let you be able to eat on a level that you've never eaten on before. I'm bringing you out of some stuff. I'm going to deliver you from some stuff, but where I am taking you this time, though the weapons are formed, they are not going to work. Thanks be unto God, fight the good fight of faith, and thanks be unto him that gives us the victory. The victory, the victory, victory. Victory belongs to you. We used to sing the little song that victory is mine. Victory is mine. I told Satan, listen, get thee behind, but victory, victory, victory. My God, I'm just telling you, you better go back and reach up and get some of those old songs. Back in the day, I'm just telling you, you need something every now and then that'll pull you through some mess. Some stuff that'll just remind you that the Lord is with you wherever you're going. And God says, I know that this is uncharted territory for you, and it is intimidating you, but God says, you look up and you trust me. Every time you get tempted to give up, look up. Force yourself to look up. Force yourself to look up. My faith looks up to thee, your Lamb of Calvary. You know, you better look up toward God because he's got some stuff in store for you. I'm just telling you. Touch your neighbor, say, this is my season. This is my season. There's a voice and a vision, but then there is valor. There is valor. There is valor. And let me just tell you this, that this courage that comes into your life, courage is not the absence of fear, but it is rather the judgment that something else is more important than your fear. It is to say that I got to do this. I've got to do this. I got to do this for my grandmama. I got to do this for my son. I got to do this for my daughter. It's the judgment that something else is greater than the fear. If you don't know what I'm talking about, let somebody threaten somebody that you love. You can take a little timid woman, threaten her child. I promise you, you'll see another side. No matter how soft-spoken and how quiet she is, mess with her child. Another nature will rise up because she deems the love of something greater than the fear that's in her face. She'll walk up to a bully and slap a bully messing with her child. Somebody 2 times bigger than she is. It's just something that just goes because you deem that you love something greater than the fear. That's what valor is based on. It's not to deny that fear is there. Valor doesn't do stuff in the absence of fear. It does it in the presence of fear. Having courage, having valor means I'm scared to death, but I'm doing it anyway. I'm doing it anyway. And you know, God dealt with the same thing with Gideon. Gideon was a scaredy cat. He started mealy-mouthing to God, telling him, God, you know, I'm the youngest in my family. And he said, I come from the smallest tribe. God already had a plan that he wanted to use him. And here, the angel of the Lord finds Gideon over by the wine press, and he's threshing wheat. You don't thresh wheat by the wine press. You thresh wheat out in the open so you can throw it up and let the wind drive the chaff away, and then the wheat falls back down to the ground. And he's up there threshing wheat by the wine press, hiding in fear of his life. He's in hiding. And the angel of the Lord comes to a man who's in a place that he shouldn't be, hiding, and addresses him and says, thou mighty man of valor. God calls him a mighty man of valor while he's acting like a chicken. You know why? Because God does not define you by where you are. He defines you by who he created you to be. And he called those things that be not as though they were. God called him a man of valor, a man of courage, while he was acting like a coward. He didn't let his current action define his destiny, because God didn't want him to take his identity in his current activity. Don't let your current activity define who you are. You get your identity from the great I am. And then it was Lao Tzu who said that being deeply loved by someone gives you strength, while loving someone deeply gives you courage. Loving someone deeply gives you courage. That gives you courage when you love somebody deeply. You don't just do it for yourself. You do it because you love somebody deeply. To be loved by somebody gives you strength. But when you love somebody deeply, it gives you courage. It gives you courage. And so here he was doing a cowardly thing, and yet God still called him mighty man of valor. Valor means strength of mind or spirit. It means strength of mind or spirit that enables a person to encounter danger with firmness. It enables a person to encounter danger with firmness. That's what valor is. Valor comes from the word valere, and valere means to be strong. To be strong. God kept reminding Joshua, be strong and of good courage. When you have valor, you have strength. You have strength. You have strength. That's why as long as you keep your joy intact, the joy of the Lord is your strength. It's your strength. So the devil goes after your joy. Joy in and of itself is not strength, but joy is the evidence that you've got strength. When you find a person that even though they got issues going on in their life and they haven't lost their joy, the joy is the evidence that I've got strength. Valere, valor, means to be strong. To be strong. To be strong. It doesn't mean not to be afraid. It means to be strong. It means I'm afraid of the diagnosis that has come. I'm afraid of the challenges that lie ahead of me and all of the unknowns and the uncertainties of life. I'm afraid, but I'm strong. I'm strong. And God will send you in uncharted water, and He'll develop strength in you to make you a mighty woman of valor, a mighty man of valor. That He'll put a strength in you to live your dream. He'll put a strength in you to become who you need to become. You have to be strong, because people will try to intimidate you out of your purpose. They will try to intimidate you out of your purpose. You'd be surprised. I was just reading about an actor who was turned down for roles 600 times before he got a yes. 600 times. He never locked his identity in the rejection of people saying, no, you're not right for the part. He kept on going until he found somebody that says, okay, and today he's made it. Because he had strength. Weak people give up. It takes strength to keep going in the face of adversity when somebody has turned you down, when somebody has said no to you. It takes strength. You can write the thing off and say, well, I guess that's not going to happen for you. And you know, sometimes people look at me and they assume that everything has just worked like a bed of ease for me. When God called me to establish Word of Faith, you know, it takes money to do vision. You do realize that. I mean, they don't just instantly give you credit. You know you have to build credit. And somebody's got to give you credit in order for you to build credit, and then nobody wants to give you credit because you don't have any credit. And it's a vicious cycle. And when you're not, I'm not talking about dealing with, you know, when you're dealing with $100,000, but when you're dealing with millions of dollars and you don't have a track record. And I went to a bank, you know, after I've got faith in my heart. God called me. He gave me this vision. He told me to do this. The first bank that I went to, they turned me down flat. I got so tickled when just a few years ago, the same bank that turned me down sent me a letter, you know, offering to lend me money. I'm like, I don't need your money now. But they turned me down. The second bank turned me down. A third bank turned me down. But I had something on the inside. I wasn't worried about people turning me down. I was just looking for the one that would say yes. That's all you need is one. That's all you need is one. See, there was a strength on the inside of me. There was a strength on the inside of me. And see, the circumstances say, oh my God, suppose you can't get the finances. Suppose you can't get the finances. You'll never be able to do it. You'll never be able to do it. And you know, after 3 strikes, and you know, the devil came and sat on my shoulder. He said, 3 strikes, you out. 3 strikes, you out, trying to weaken my spirit. But the Lord had spoken to me and said, son, be strong. Be strong. I'm telling you, He spoke valeri into me. Strength. I just needed valor. I just needed courage. When you don't have money, you need strength. You need strength of mind and strength of will to remain steady and consistent when you're in a battle. Anybody know what I'm talking about? And I was turned down by major banks, major big boys that were looking for stuff because my stats didn't agree with their information that they were looking for, that was safe enough for them to invest in. But all you need is somebody, just one person, who's willing to take a risk on you. Just one person who's willing to believe in you, to say, I'll do it. But you've got to have valor, because the devil had sat on my shoulder and told me 3 strikes and you're out. 3 strikes and you're out. Before I found this land, I went to 3 other locations. And city officials told me, we won't give you a permit to build a church here. 3 strikes. I was out, but when I came here, I got a quickening in the Holy Ghost. I'm glad now that He shut those other doors, because we would have been on another part of town. I'm glad God directed the steps of a good man, and He had to shut some doors in order to. And I just want to remind, every now and then I have to tell you some of my story, because if I don't tell you, you won't know. And you'll look at the bishop and say, you know, the bishop is just blessed. He just blessed. He just blessed and highly favored. And I just want you to understand, that when nobody else is in a position to be able to help you, it's a lonely road. It's a lonely road. You don't rest well at night. It's a lonely road, but there was valor. valor that was spoken down into my spirit. Valor, valor, valor. Be strong in the Lord. Doesn't mean that you don't have any fear, but you can be strong even when you're uncertain as to whether the answer is going to be yes. You don't even know, and even when somebody's told you, you got strength because you believe that you've got, God will give you the strength until you can find one person that'll say yes.
Thank you for watching Power for Living with Bishop Dale C. Bronner. Join us again next time for Power for Living, where revelation is power. Power for living.